Melbourne Racing Club members, renew your membership before September 1 to save on early bird.
Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up. Gareth Hall with you. You're watching us on the SEN app and also our Facebook page. We are streaming every day live on the SEN app. All thanks to Bet365. It's never ordinary when it's brought to you by Bet365. Imagine what you could be buying instead. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelponline.org.au. Get your $100 staking plans in on the message line 0499 736 736. Your best multi. How are you making some money over the weekend? No winner from last week. Hopefully that can change. Whoever wins, I'll put $100. I'll put a Don Bradman out of my own pocket for you the next week, and you can come on the show and give us your multi. Looking forward to catching up with Dean Evans throughout the spring from winningedgeinvestments.com, tips, ratings and betting education for racing and sports. And he joins us now. G'day, Dino.
G'day, Gareth. How you going?
Good, thank you, mate. And you're a part owner of Vauban. Now, Australian Bloodstock, they purchased that horse. You got involved with Winning Edge Investments and your team there. Are you scared about the horse that they just purchased, Al Riffa?
Yeah, he's definitely got some quality about him. But now we're excited about how Vauban's come up. He also beat Via Sistina first off in his first trial at Randwick, and then kicked away and won by 3 lengths at Hawkesbury this week as well in his next trial. So he's coming up really well, and we can only focus on our horse, and he's flying at the moment, and we're really excited. This is his second prep sort of in Australia, where he can take us on his hunt for the Caulfield Melbourne Cups. What
about tomorrow? So it's a great time of year. We're at the end of winter, but spring is well and truly in the air after the Wink Stakes there last week, and then we've got the Group 1 Memsey on Saturday. What did you learn from the Winks there last week?
Obviously on a bog-heavy track, which made it interesting. I think the main thing we learned is that Aliana is going to be, I think a lot of these highest rated horses are sort of 7, 8 now, and we're looking for that new breed to come through. Via Sistine was obviously really impressive, but I thought Aliana was just a super run, and I think she's going to be sort of a weight for age star for the future. And Arapaho went really well too for the Cups, but I think Aliana's a horse that you definitely want to follow.
She'll head towards the 7 Stakes next start, then come to Victoria. I think she'll compete in a Turnbull Stakes before heading towards a Cox Plate. So her clash with Via Sistine is going to be something else. The two stablemates going to battle in a Cox Plate.
Yeah, and I think she's got the talent to turn the tables.
Well, that's a big call. So you reckon she's the value at the moment?
I do. I think she's a superstar mare, and I think she's sort of one of those horses you can just keep following her through her career. I think she's going to be very, very good.
It's going to be fascinating what happens at Caulfield tomorrow. There's rain predicted today and tomorrow, but I think it's still a guessing game what conditions we will get, and that's going to play a major part, I reckon, into the result. So just having a look at the markets for this Memsey Stake, which is race number 9 on the program, and my Bet365 app's not working at the moment. So the favourite last time I look was Another Will around that $4.40 quote. How do you read this year's race?
Yeah, 7 of the last 8 winners have actually come off a 14-day break, which is interesting because this year there's only a couple of sort of roughies really in Here to Shock and Pinstripe coming off that profile. 10 of the last 12 winners have settled in sort of the first 6 and running, so it's an on-pace race. 9 of the last 10 winners have been 5 or 6-year-olds and geldings. We've got a lot of older horses in the race here. And 9 of the 12 winners from barriers 1 to 5. So you want to map well. You want to be sort of on speed at this 1400 Group 1. I think the horse that really stands out is Another Will. Just looks like he's going to map really perfectly Here to Shock. Only setting an average tempo up front, and then he's sort of got Another Will treasure at the moment. Mr. Brightside should be handy, and Tom Kitten will be sort of stalking him 5th. I think Another Will has won his last 3 first up runs. He won the Group 1 CF4 Stakes, this track and distance for us last prep first up. He just maps perfectly, and I think he clearly is the one to beat on the ratings. I think the main danger is probably Tom Kitten, first start for the Freedman stable, goes really well fresh. He was second beaten a nose in the Futurity Group 1 this track distance in the autumn. and that was, against Mr. Brightside, it had a run. So again, I think he maps well, but I'm really keen on another will just profiles perfectly. Tom Kitten to danger, and I just think horses like Fangirl and Altino just don't map well enough to win.
Where have you got Fangirl on the run?
Got a right back.
Okay.
Yeah, I think she could potentially be last on the rails. I think they'll ride her real quiet. You sort of got Buckaroo and Zardozi and Antino and Pinstripe to all get back as well, but some of them might just need to push forward like a horse like Pinstripe. So she's going to get clogged away back there on the fence, I think.
I really liked her tomorrow. I think if it's a soft six and better, she's the best 1,400 metre horse in the race. But you worry me a little bit now, mate. I thought she would just be too quick
I
for
don't
them.
like her in the wet either. So
yeah,
I think she needs probably soft 5 or better.
Yeah.
I think if it's any wet, then she just can't sort of catch. But I just think she's going to struggle to sprint past a horse like another will.
So Tom Kitten's out to $8.50. Did that surprise you?
Yeah, I'm not sure what's causing that drift. He's got a really good first up record. He's beaten the nose first up last prep. Before that, he won first up. So. Yeah, an interesting drift, and I know they have been aiming to target sort of this race in the Mackay with the early sort of Group 1s, so I'm not sure what's causing that drift because he looks pretty good to me.
Mr. Brightside?
I don't know, he's coming off that Hong Kong run. I thought his trialled awful.
Yeah.
I don't think he maps really that well, and I'm just not so sure about him first up. He hasn't beaten first up his last couple of runs, so I couldn't possibly back him.
And Treasure the Moment, she's a bit like Aliana. This time last week, we didn't know if they would be able to make that step up to weight for age against the open class horses. We all know that Aliana did it perfectly there in the wings. Do you think Treasure the Moment is as good as Aliana?
I don't think she's as good as Aliana, but she's obviously a very good mare. I think she maps well here, and I think she'll run, possibly a place. I don't think she'll win. This sort of 4-year-old mare doesn't really profile right for this race, but I think for going forward, she's definitely a high quality mare, and she'll be in the finish.
All right then. So just recapping your tip, Another Will and Tom Kitten, your tips there in the Group 1 Memsey.
Correct.
Beautiful. Let's have a look at race number 5, which is the Heatherly, and just going back, we've got that market now with Bet365 for the Memsey Stakes. Another Will, $4, Entino $5.50, Treasure the Moment $5.50, Fangirl at $6, Mr. Brightside at $7, Tom Kitten at $8.50, then Here to Shock at $19. Race 5 is the Heatherly. Golden Path $4.80 is second up after a pretty good effort first. Dart, Michael Kent Jr. gave him a good push yesterday. Braden Star is at $6. Too Darn Discreet at $7. Kingswood at $8.50. River of Stars, who was placed in a Sydney Cup before going for a break, at $11. El Rocco at $11. Statutorio, that was placed in a derby at South Australia, at $11. Then Whiskey on the Hill at $11. And then we go out to Kinesiology at $12 and Berkshire Breeze at $15.
Yeah, look, this race, for the last 10 years, 8 of the 10 winners have really just been, a horse who's had a run, usually in the last sort of 2 or 3 weeks, and was on speed, basically in the top 4 and running. So, and that's produced winners at sort of $21, $61, $14, and $11. So it's been a really good method for finding a winner of this race. The couple of horses who profile the best, Golden Path, he's probably going to lead here. Rates clearly on top. Sort of go back to his run in the Kingston Town, where he ran third to Elias and Cherwolf, and then Cherwolf came out of that race, won a couple of Group 1s. Elias ran third in the Turnbull. Land Legend won the Metropolitan. That was a really high rating race. And the last prep he just ran in the Group 1s against the sort of Via Sistinas. But he's had a run first up, ran a solid third. I think he just maps perfectly Golden Path, profiles really well, and he's sort of the fit horse. I think he's going to be very hard to beat. I think Main Danger, Too Darn Discreet, she won the Group 2 Edward Manifold and the Group 3 Ethereal last prep. Has been coming through sort of the benchmark races, won second up and then beaten the nose, third up. Again, another mare who's just down the bottom of the weights, maps really well, sort of sits about sixth on my map, getting some cover and looks to danger. But, Golden Path and Too Darn Discreet really profiles the type of horses that generally win it heavily.
Then we'll have a look at race number 8, which is the second leg of the quaddie. 10 races at Caulfield on Saturday. And this is the Cochrane Stakes for the mares. It's a beauty as well. Magic Time, that's first up at $3.60. Miss Rubini's at $6. Gerringong at $7.50. Pop Award has got the race fitness on her side. She's at $8.50. Manal trialled the house down and now comes to, that was in Sydney. And D Lane rode her in Sydney at the trials as well, but she's in Melbourne tomorrow. She's at $9. Damask Rose at $10. Stretton Angel at $10. Abounding at $12. And the Tassie Star, GG's Mistruth, is at $19 with Bet365. How do you play this race here, Dino?
Yeah, the horse I've honed in on is Miss Rubini.
Yeah.
Really consistent mare, 5 wins and 3 placings from 9 starts. The last start was a win on the Gold Coast in January in a $1 million race. She trialled really well at Caulfield on the 13th of August. In a strong trial around plus 1.9. She beat sort of Mirabelle Rose, Neon's Magic Time, Skybird, and She's Bulletproof all quite comfortably. Just looks to be going really well. This race by this time of the day is actually traditionally won by horses drawn wide, and they tend to be swooping by this time of day over the 1200. And Miss Rubini does get back, but she'll sort of get back with cover, and I think be that horse swooping, consistent mare, fresh up, going well. And yeah, a lot of horses resuming here, and some have are definitely targeted for sort of later races in the carnival. So I'm quite keen on Miss Rubini.
Yeah, and Michael Kent Jr. gave her a wonderful push there yesterday. Made it part of his staking plan. She's just a dead set winner. She just pings her ears back and gets the job done. She loves to find that line. So that's a good push there from Dean Evans from Winning Edge Investments there with Miss Rubini. Now, this is a great time of the year. I reckon it's a difficult time on the punt in a way because you've got a lot of these horses first up in Sydney and Melbourne tomorrow. A lot of 3-year-olds kicking off there, 3-year-old campaigns, and a lot of the star weight for age horses coming back from a spell. But if you've got a person that can find the good trials and then can help you back a winner from horses performing at the trials, it does help your cause at this time of the year. And you're one of the very best in the business, Dino, when it comes to finding horses from trials. So what's the secret to your success with that skill to have? Because I reckon it is a skill.
Yeah, look, it's, well, like any skill, I think the first trick is just doing a lot of it. You know, the old Malcolm Gladwell 10,000 hours. I've been doing it for over 15 years now. And for me, it's the biggest edge in betting still.
Yeah.
We're having an absolutely fantastic time just for August. We're up 57 units profit at around 60% POT. So, I love this time of year. This is the best time of year because you've got these horses resuming, and the trials tell you. They don't lie. They tell you if a horse is going well and isn't going well. And for me, I use sectional times that are really, really critical. So it's not just the overall time, but that last 600, last 400, last 200. Particularly if it's coming off a hot speed. And you see these horses trialling out of their grade. So you're seeing maiden horses, you're seeing young 2- and 3-year-olds trialling against open class gallopers, and get a really, really good line on the horses that are going well and the horses that aren't going particularly well. So for me, I don't even see how people bet without it really at this time of the year. And that early August, September time, the trials and the jump outs are the key. And the horses don't lie. They generally tell you how they're going, and they generally run pretty true to form and to their trials.
So the great horse to study here, I reckon, is Mr. Brightside, because you talk to JD Hayes like we did yesterday. He says, forget about its trial. That's how he usually trials if you go back and have a look at his trials. But the trial students like yourself, you just mentioned before, you're not happy with the trial. So how do you assess a horse like Mr. Brightside? Because I would imagine there'd be horses that just trial terribly and then they perform better on the racetrack. So profile this horse for us regarding his trials throughout his career.
Yeah, it's definitely true what you say. I remember a few years ago a horse called the Autumn Sun, and
yes.
I
He was pretty handy.
Prep, he was a pretty handy horse, and we followed him through his career, very closely. He was a really great horse for us, and I remember before one prep, everyone was bagging his trials and just going, he's gone. The horse isn't going well, and I remember posting and copping a bit of flack for it and just saying he's actually trialled the best he's ever trialled. This is just what he does. He's just not a horse that trials well, but he gets back, he's ridden out, but his sectionals were better than ever, and he won the first up and was unbeaten in that prep. So there's a lot about a horse. It's a bit like the mountain yard people, where a horse might sweat up or not look that great, but if that's what they always do, it's not necessarily a problem. With Mr. Brightside, I'm just a bit concerned coming off that sort of really flat Hong Kong run, and then into trials where he hasn't been as sharp. In the last prep before the CF4, he won a trial at Geelong, and he ran the quickest last 600, 400, and 200 of the day, of about 122 trialers that day, running plus 0.8 time overall and plus 9.7 last 600. So to say that the horse doesn't, beat a sprinter Arabian Summer that day. So to say he doesn't trial well, well, he does. But he was scrubbed up under riding in that last jump out. So, I'm not saying he's going to get beaten out of sight, but I couldn't possibly back him off it.
What about your best of the recent trials? What horses have really caught your eye there in the trials leading up to their first up runs?
Well, one that's running tomorrow is a horse called On Display.
Yes.
She's a mare with the Nick Price yard who won a listed race in Adelaide last prep in May. She trialled at Cranbourne on the 18th of August, just Oak won by a couple of lengths, but she absolutely flew home for fifth. She was sort of sprinting and she said it was sort of back and last and wide in the trial. She's sprinting past horses like La Dorada, Damask Rose, another Profit Group 1 winner, Antino, and doing it under absolutely no pressure. She just looks like a horse that's really forward. There's other horses obviously in that trial that are resuming and being backed in sort of group races, and she's resuming in a benchmark 78. She's got 16.5 kgs, but I think in Caulfield race 2 there On Display, she's a mare that's trialling really well. And then the other horses I sort of mentioned that I think are trialling really, really well for their preps. I mentioned last Saturday, Woden, Skyhook, Apocalyptic, Autumn Glow, and Vauban. They're all horses that are trialling very nicely as they lead into their campaigns this spring.
Would you back Woden tomorrow? Because this is another, I think, a really good learning. This is good learning for our listeners out there as well. So, and it's like the Black Bookers, for instance, that we have a chat to people throughout the week. So you've got a horse like Woden that you love at the trials and you think he's going to have a big preparation. But then you come tomorrow with the way that this track might play at Rose Hill. Are you confident to back him because off his trials, regardless of the race setup, or you think maybe he will be better off later on in his preparation?
For the most part, when I find a horse and I black book it at the trial, I'll back them through a campaign because I found that's the key to success is you find a good quality horse, you find that they're much better than the grades they're running at, and quite often they can have bad luck, they can find the wrong track, a poor ride, lots can happen, but you follow them through the prep, and quite often if they run poorly first up, you get a great price second up, third up, and do really well out of a horse. The horse like Woden, a bit more exposed, he's short in the market. I'm actually not backing him in the San Domenico. I know his targets are the Golden Rose and the Coolmore. There's other horses that have trialled well in the race. Raging Force ran plus 6.8, quickest time of the day at Randwick, and really quick closing sectionals. Baywalk is a handy horse, King of Pop's a handy horse. And this isn't Woden's grand final, and we know with the Waller stable that they target their grand final. So, no, I'm not looking to dive in. If he wins, I'm happy because I'm keen on him in the Golden Rose, and I've backed him in the Coolmore already in futures, and so I want to see him resume well. But just because a horse trials well, jump out well, doesn't mean you need to dive into them first up. Quite often that they're better second up, third up, and they'll be better into the campaign. So Woden, I'm happy to watch. He can win, but he can win without me.
Now you've got a competition for the SEN family and the Giddy Up family, obviously with Winning Edge. So what is this competition that you're running with Winning Edge Investments with SEN?
Yeah, really excited to be partnering with SEN on that. It's winning the ultimate race day out, and the prize is up to $30,000. So
okay.
The two elements. The first part, win 2 tickets to either the Everest or the Caulfield Cup, your choice. Gets you basically all you can eat and all you can drink all day, including spirits and cocktails and a marquee. You'll be really looked after. That's a total value of $5,000 for those 2 tickets to either the Everest or the Caulfield Cup. We'll be really looked after and have a fantastic day. And then the other element we've thrown in is 1% of the net prize money that Vauban earns in the Caulfield Cup, less what the trainer jockey gets, but basically what an owner, 1% owner in Vauban would receive. So the Caulfield Cup's $5 million prize money. So you're looking at up to $25,000 that the winner of this prize can win.
Stowe Storage, Caulfield Spring Opener, Saturday the 30th of August. $20 tickets at Ticketek.
Live across Australia on SEN Track. Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up. Dean Evans from Winning Edge Investments is with us. Sorry, Dino. So this new competition, which involves the SEN family, thanks to Winning Edge Investments, is up to $30,000. So if you enter in, I don't know what the competition is. So I'm looking forward to learning that. But the prize sounds unbelievable. $5,000 package to take someone to either Everest Day or Caulfield Cup Day. And then also you're going to give some lucky person 1% of Vauban on Caulfield Cup Day. And if he wins the Caulfield Cup, which I think is an excellent chance, you win about $25,000.
Yeah, really excited. Really fantastic prize. It's a gourmet food, premium beverage package. Yep. You can be treated, like you said, like royalty for a total value of $5,000 for you and someone else to go to your choice of the Everest or the Caulfield Cup. And all we ask is that you cheer Vauban home. Yes. And you'll be getting the equivalent of what a 1% owner in Vauban would get for the $5 million Caulfield Cup. So a prize of up to $25,000 bonus there if Vauban can win the Caulfield Cup. And all you got to do is pop on to sen.com.au/win, find that ultimate race day out for Winning Edge Investments banner, and put your details in, name, email, phone number, so we can contact you. And in 25 words or less, tell us why you deserve the ultimate race day out. And yes. And someone's going to win that really awesome prize for October 18th.
So you go to sen.com /.
sen.com.au/win. WIN.
sen.com.au/win. And then you follow the prompts. You got to explain in less than 25 words why you would love this prize, and you're a chance to win one of the greatest prizes that SEN's ever had, to have a share in Vauban. That would be a lot of fun, and they will be cheering. And he's a big
absolutely.
Chance.
So we want everyone on our side and cheering Vauban home in the big cup. So yeah, we're really excited about it.
Love it, mate. We love having you part of the Giddy Up family throughout the spring, and can't wait to catch up with you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks, Gareth. Appreciate it.
There's Dean Evans from Winning Edge Investments. WinningEdgeInvestments.com, tips, ratings and betting education for racing and sports.
At Winning Edge Investments, our team of highly skilled expert analysts and full-time professional punters review the data, crunch the figures, assess the best betting opportunities, and deliver them to your phone via our app and your email inbox in real time so you profit. Go to www.winningedgeinvestments.com. Look at our membership options, make your choice, and enter the promo code PODCAST to receive a special 25% discount on your first membership just for listening. That's PODCAST in capital letters for a 25% ongoing discount on your first membership. Treat your betting like a business and invest intelligently with Winning Edge Investments.